band, no whistling. You either sing or resign. Do you want to resign? And I'm going to ask Mr. Milton Cross, acting as our musical authority pro tem, to judge whether this four-part harmony is really four-part harmony or just guessing. The first one that you'll have to sing is Silver Threads Among the Gold. And I will say 3, and then you can start.
How do you know
who you are?
Key to be in?
I haven't the slightest idea. Pick a key.
Darling, I am a growing older.
Yes, how would that do? That sounds terrible.
No good.
Don't like that.
No. Mr. Adams, pick a key.
Pick a key.
It's your birthday.
That key's all
It's
right.
your birthday.
That'll be all right.
You think you gentlemen want to try it?
Darling, I am growing old.
Let's keep it up.
Shine upon my brow today. They do, too.
I don't know about that. How about that, Mr. Cross? Would you pass it? No, I'd never pass it. No, that's awful. 2, Sweet and Low. Maybe do better on Sweet and Low.
I don't even know the
You
song.
want to lead it, Frank?
No.
Well, I'll
You give
lead
that
it
one up?
then.
How about you, John?
Sweet and low, sweet
That's very
and
nice.
low.
That's one-part harmony.
Wine of the western sea.
Come on, get into it, Gunther. Can't get that man, Gunther.
Sing.
Can't sing. I know, but you don't have to prove it so violently.
The most merciful thing to do would be to ring up $10
Yeah.
quickly.
I feel like ringing up $25. I've never been so convinced of the truth of Keats's famous line. Do you mind if I introduce a line from Keats, Mr. Kieran?
No, sir.
Thank you. Heard melodies are sweet, but those unheard are sweeter. Thank you very much. Now, what is our loss so far? Our loss so far is $20. Now, let me see. $20, and now, Mr. Milton Cross, we're going to allow you 1 minute and 1 minute only as our Canada Drive expert. All right?
All right, Mr. Fadiman.
Thank you.
Many of us may remember an advertisement carrying the headline, "Down from Canada came tales of a wonderful beverage." This advertisement appeared about 15 years ago and announced the arrival of a new beverage, Canada Dry Ginger Ale. And soon, this remarkably fine ginger ale changed the nation's taste. Its popularity was brought about through the use of exacting precautions in purchasing fine ingredients in heretofore unheard-of methods of blending and carbonation. But more important, it was a delicious, distinctive beverage that soon won the description, the champagne of ginger ales. 15 years ago is a long time, but nothing has altered the refreshing flavor of sparkling Canada Dry ginger ale, even though today Canada Dry is selling at by far the lowest prices in its history.
Mr. Cross, that was only 51 seconds. Very good indeed. And thank you very much. Now we'll go on to the next question, which comes from Mr. J.E. Manzer of Brantford, Ontario. Mr. Manzer wants you to identify the following people prominent in the recent news. You have to get 4 out of 5. Now, these names are very difficult for me to pronounce. I want to announce that Information Police is not responsible for pronunciation, and any broken accents will not be replaced by the management. 1. Ismet Inonu. Ismet Inonu. Mr. Gunther.
He's the new Turkish president selected to succeed Kemal Ataturk. His name used to be Ismet Pasha.
That's quite correct. Thank you very much, Mr. Gunther. 2. Wu Pei Fu.
He's a Chinese warlord.
I have to have a little more information that practically everybody's a Chinese warlord.
Not nowadays, but he was traditionally the boss of Shenxi province, and who probably will have negotiations with the Japanese. The Japanese keep on much longer in that area.
Yes. What would his politics be? How would he be as a... would he be for the nationalist government, Chiang Kai-shek's government?
Depends on who pays him the most, I suppose.
Well, I'm not sure that you're not quite correct. I have here that he's the anti-communist Chinese general, and he's to be head of the new Japanese puppet state in China, centered in Canton.
I don't think that can be official yet.
Well, Information Police, of course, has sources of information not open to mere foreign correspondence. I think I'm going to, if you don't mind, Mr. Gunther, mark you wrong on that one, because the information was not as accurate as our high standard requires. Though you were doing nicely. Wu Pei Fu is exactly as I have explained. And it'd be a godsend to crossword puzzles. Wu Pei Fu is marvelous. The next one. Hajj Amin El Husseini. All right, Mr. Gunther.
Grand Mufti of Jerusalem, the leader of the Arab revolt in Palestine.
That's quite correct. What is
and
a mufti?
I know I'm right about that.
You're all right. What is a mufti?
A mufti, theoretically, is a name for a purely spiritual quality. It's the head of the local church in a Muslim parish or diocese. Technically, it has no political authority.
I see. Thank you very much indeed. Now, if I can get the next one. I beg pardon, Mr. Levant.
Isn't that what we're dressed in?
Yeah, we're dressed in mufti.
Are you?
Isn't that
Not
Not the same kind of mufti
dressed
as
in mufti
Hashemi.
tonight in honor of Mr. Adams' birthday. The next one, I don't think I can pronounce at all. I'll see if I can sneeze it through for you. For František Chvalkovsky.
Oh, he's the new Czechoslovak foreign minister.
How did you know what I was talking about, Mr. Gunther? That's quite
Practically
correct.
all names in that part of Central Europe have to be sneezed.
That's right. 5. And last, we only have one wrong so far. Albert de Vleeshauber. De Vleeshauber. De Vleeshauber. De Vleeshauber. Take your choice.
Once more.
Oh, well, I'll spell it. Vleeschauwer. Vleeshauber.
Sounds like Levant to me.
As played by Levant, yes. Vleeshauber. Know that one? Mr. Gunther. Want me to sing it for you?
I don't think that would do me any good. It might possibly be one of these Baltic state people who are on the fringe of these German negotiations with Poland.
Nice piece of fantasy there. No. No,
Is it a Dutchman?
No, that would be quite wrong, though it's a nice idea. It's not correct, however. It's the Belgian Minister of Colonies who denied that Belgium stole the Congo from Germany and asserts that Belgium will not let anyone steal it away from her, which is fair enough warning. Well, that's 2 wrong out of 5, and that's going to lose us $10 going to Mr. Manson. Thank you very much. The next question is from a very well-known personage, Dr. Harold G. Moulton of Washington, D.C. Dr. Moulton, as many of you probably know, is president of the Brookings Institute, one of the leading research organizations of the country. The bewildering complexities of our economic life are interpreted and clarified by Dr. Moulton and his associates. Think I could get a job as an editorial writer, Mr. Adams?
No.
No? All right. As a matter of fact, you may probably be aware that government officials and businessmen often base their policies upon the authoritative findings of the Brookings Institute and Dr. Moulton. And therefore you should be proud, gentlemen, that Dr. Moulton has turned to you tonight for illumination on this most perplexing problem. To wit, name 4 heavyweight boxing champions who had identical first names and middle initials. Mr. Adams first.
James J. Corbett,
That's one.
Joseph James Tunney,
Joseph James Tunney. They have to have the identical first name and middle initial. That's one so
James
far.
J. Jeffries,
James J. Jeffries is 2. Mr. Gunther?
James J. Fitzsimmons.
That's Robert.
Robert.
No, that's wrong. I'm
James-
afraid that's going to
James
cost us
J. Braddock.
$10. I beg pardon.
James
James J.
Braddock.
Braddock is 3. We have one wrong answer so far. Now the 4th, Mr. Kieran, you really ought to know.
Well, I'll begin at the beginning and come right on down.
Matter of fact, we've lost our $10 anyway.
How
I may as
come?
well hint to you that Mr. Adams almost had it right.
Gene Tunney, you mean?
Yes, what's his name? Real name.
James J. Tunney.
James J. Tunney is correct, but that's going to cost us $10 on account of a wrong answer, I think, given by Mr. Gunther. Dr. Moulton, you're going to get $10 to add to your financial statistics. The next question from Eleanor Lynn of Kingston, Pennsylvania. Gee, there are not enough of her questions on this program for Miss Lynn. She wants you to name 5 songs whose titles ask a question. Name 5 songs whose titles ask a question. Miss Kieran.
Please tell me why I should cry over you. And I do mean you.
Good, Mr. Kieran. Mr. Levant.
How deep is the ocean?
Is that a song?
Mr. Kieran ought to answer that, incidentally.
How deep is the ocean?
Yeah, that's by Irving Berlin. It was a big hit. I'll sing
Really?
it for you.
6
How
miles
deep is
is
the
the deepest
ocean?
part.
How high
I'm not
is the
arguing. I'm
sky?
sure you're
How
right.
deep is the ocean? Da-dee-da-da-da.
Oh, now you can sing. Before you couldn't sing. All right, Mr. Adams. That's 2.
Who is Sylvia?
Who is Sylvia? Perfectly good. That's 3. Mr. Kieran.
Where is my wandering boy tonight?
Where is my wandering boy tonight is 4. Mr. Levant.
Give us a little kiss, would you, huh?
No, definitely not, Mr. Levant. Definitely not. All right. That's
Give
5.
us-
Got another one?
Yeah.
No, that's all right.
What is this thing called love?
Are you asking me? Oh, I see what you mean. Oh, yeah. Perfectly good. That's 6. Know any more? Mr. Adams?
Where, oh, where are the Hebrew children?
Who wrote the song?
That's an old song. They're safe in the promised land.
That's
The
right.
answer.
That's right. I do remember that, an old hymn. Mr. Kieran, we really got to go on.
Where, oh, where is my little dog gone?
Yes, that would do very well.
Why do I love you?
You had love on your mind tonight, Mr. Levant, and stop looking at me. The next question from Miss Celia Christopher of Winthrop, Massachusetts. Here are parts of later stanzas of 2 well-known poems. We want you to quote the first line of the first stanza of each poem. Now, here is the later stanza. 1. I'm going to read the two of them together because one man has to answer the two. 1. In the world's broad field of battle, in the bivouac of life, be not like dumb, driven cattle, be a hero in the strife. Now, while you're digesting that, I'll give you the second one. Let mortal tongues awake, let all that breathe partake, let rocks their silence break, the sound prolong. The man who volunteers has to get the two of them. All right, Mr. Kieran. The first one?
The first one is Longfellow's Charm of Life.
And how does it go at the beginning?
Well, wait a minute. I'll answer the other one.
All right.
I'm trying to think of the
Yes.
start of the Charm of Life.
Sure.
The other is, the first part is My Country 'Tis of Thee.
That's right.
Now I have to give that Psalm of Life.
You have to give the opening
Just
line.
give me about 3 words and I'll recite the whole poem.
I will simply say that the word dream is in the first 2 lines. I think that's a fair enough hint.
Life is not an empty dream and all that.
Tell me not in more
Tell me not mournful
Tell me not
numbers.
mournful
Life
numbers.
is not
That's
an
very
empty
good, Mr.
dream.
Kieran. Just got
But an
by with the
empty
skin of your
dream.
teeth. All right.
Thank you.
Well, I don't think we're going to have very much time to ask another question. Information, please, announces a loss of how much? $40. Oh, it used to be 20 weeks ago, but now it's $40.
Easy come, easy go.
Easy come, easy go. It means nothing to you, Mr. Adams. It's his birthday. Well, we've lost $40. Lost it very willingly, haven't you, Mr. Adams? Now, before I explain...
Grows on trees.
Grows on trees. Before I
still
explain
think
how...
Blue Pie Foo was wrong.
Still sore about that, are you? I have to explain how you two may win $15 and who our guests will be for next week's tug of war between the public and the experts. Before I do that, our Canada Dry expert, Mr. Cross, has a 15-second message for you.
I just want to tell you about Canada Dry's sparkling water, perhaps best described as a club soda. Here is pinpoint carbonation, a champagne sparkle with a tang that is delightfully different. You'll find Canada Dry's sparkling water and ginger ale are sold wherever fine beverages are served.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you. Here's a list of experts for next week. The famous author, Dr. Hendrik Van Loon. The theatrical know-it-all, Mr. Russell Krauss. And our 2 sterling standbys, Franklin P. Adams and John Curie. And now for those who want to stump these experts and win $15, here's how it's done. You send us questions on any subject with the correct answer. You may submit from 1 to 3 original questions per letter. If your question is used, you receive $5. And if it stumps the board, $10 in addition. $15 in all. And don't get too hot and bothered if our editorial staff changes or edits your question slightly. All questions become the property of Information Please, and letters are to be addressed to Information Please, Canada Dry, 1 Pershing Square, New York City. Remember, Information Please, Canada Dry, 1 Pershing Square, New York City, New York.
We bid Mr. Fadiman good night. And until next Tuesday night at this same time, remember that Canada Dry Ginger Ale and sparkling Canada Dry Water, the perfect club soda, come in convenient sizes. The family size bottle, which is the largest, costs only 15 cents. Good night, all.
This is the National Broadcasting Company.